2 seconds left. It's going to come down.
Favor making a third as he looks up. Making a, he finds the draw three. Stunning here from
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to SCS Season 6, the final semifinal. I mean, sure, there's only two, but the first one was a little bit of a letdown. Surf Esports came in. They took care of business. Goodbye, Aquilix 2-0. And now we're in for the second one. It's Aerial Rise Academy, AAA, not the battery, going up against One Shot. My name is CDAPS. To my side is Cookies. And how are you doing today?
Fantastic, Connor. Fantastic. I'm excited to watch the second semifinal. As you said, AAA. Which is hilarious because the team we just watched, Surf, has a AAA that I call AAA, like Anvi Ashton, Lamau.
And you got the triple S's on One Shot.
Yeah, there's just too much of that going on right now. But yes, the brackets we just saw. Surf is in the finals. That's kind of what people predicted, but they didn't predict that it would be so difficult for them. I would say that's the consensus there, right? An Aerial One Shot. And that's not the Aerial, that's the CL Aerial. The CL Aerial had injuries. The
CL Aerial had color in their logo, not gray.
Yeah. So there's the Academy team that actually got to this point. And honestly, I didn't believe in them getting this far at all, to be honest. I had no hope. I was a hater. I thought, Venatorial had one foot out the door.
That entire team had one foot out the door. If you go on their Twitter timelines, their pinned tweet was, "I'm done with Siege. I'm sick of this game. I'm retiring. I give up." Then they come in for quals, and all of a sudden, they're a little engine. They're going up the mountain. They're thinking, I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. I think I can. And with a roster like this, it makes things a little bit interesting because you have an entire team of players that you should know. Spiker and Dami. Combined their two names. Those are two mainstay names in T3 that, they've been around for a long time. They're not 18 yet. They're just waiting for the chance to come through. But Hypers, Frozen, and Vena, they all have been in Challenger League. They either got dropped or they got relegated. They've had some issues coming here and there. But overall, they're still T2 caliber players that are bringing a lot of experience that Spiker and Dami don't necessarily have at that higher level. And it's been pretty good because if everything works like we saw last week, or pardon me, yesterday and the day before, when everybody is firing on all cylinders, it's a good team, and all hands are definitely going to have to be on deck today to beat a team like One Shot.
Absolutely. You talk about One Shot, it's kind of the same story. One Shot's SCS, One Shot has like multiple arcs here. The Challenge League One Shot, we know they were literally right there. They almost made it. They were a match fix or so away from just straight up not having to play PB and just being that relegation team, perhaps. But instead, I know that the match fixing was a joke, by the way. I hope y'all get that. Anyway, One Shot, they go to the invite quals. They win one of the invite quals. They lose to PB again, but they end up winning the invite quals in the second time around. And here in SCS, it's been like a struggle. They lost to Aquilix that just got obliterated by Surf. One Shot lost to that team in group stage. They then managed to work their way out, get themselves here. And a lot of that is Swaylin played incredibly over the past couple games. And that makes up for the fact that Kilo wasn't playing well, at least in SCS. Kilo played well literally anywhere else. Like I said, it's 3 faces to One Shot. It's a CL invite qual. SCS Kilo stinks. I don't know what happened, but I'm imagining if Kilo steps up for the SCS games, this will be the team to beat in this league. But that's a big if, because I don't know. He was like 9 for 29.
Yeah, as Kilo has gone down, somebody else has definitely stepped up on the side of One Shot.
Let's talk about the good players
here.
Yeah,
it's been Swaylin, Mr. Hard Support, but still just obliterates people. It makes no sense. Doesn't make sense, but plus 31 on Thermite and Smoke. I've been saying Swaylin AL for a while because I think he should be a tier 1 player, and I think he has that talent. But Spiker, he's also been doing pretty well for himself. If he's not reviewing G Fuel, then he's going to be, fragging out. Plus 22 on the season. On the sort of flexy roles, we see him like a roaming mute, kind of slightly off site, or the Sledge, still doing his job, doing his role, really helping the team on their attacks.
Absolutely. Spiker, there was like a meme that Spiker needed JJ or something.
Mm-hmm.
Spiker has just
He's
coming to
just-
his own.
just-
Don't
he's
need
filling
that
the
guy,
coop.
right? He needs Frozen. That's what he needs, clearly. But as we go into the map veto, individuals aside, this is where the teams come into play. One Shot's clubhouse,
Pretty good.
it's pretty damn good. I think there's like a very occasional miss, like they dropped it to Arial like once past couple weeks. But otherwise, it's overall a very solid choice. ARIAL going to Villa. Now I'm gonna be real with you. When I said One Shot, and like more importantly when Kilo struggled, it was on Villa the last time I believe One Shot played it, and I watched it and I was gassing it. Kilo was just Mickey Mouse. I don't know what's going on Villa and for One Shot, but it was a weird game. It was kind of
It was an
below.
interesting game.
It was below par for what I expect out of One Shot. Okay.
Yes.
And then of course map number 3. Yeah.
Cafe.
It's gonna be fun. Cafe.
Last time, I mean, we've seen One Shot play it a couple of times, but the one that always sticks in my head is the defeat that they handed to Parabellum. Just like the defeat that I think Max and Ty are going to face. I'm all in for One Shot. I think that they're a very, very good team. I said earlier, they're the crown jewel of the CL crown. They're right here. They're that big, big diamond. They're shining. And in the words of Quartz, he's saying, hey guys, hey Orgs, a team that might be going for the 10th spot in the NAL. We're the best non-NAL team right now in all of North America. That's them. That's their words, not mine. And they got to prove it. Got to prove it today, CJ, don't they?
Those are fighting words.
Those are fighting words.
Let me tell you, I didn't know if I believed that. They lost to Legasher in La Aqualix like 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
But then they also are in closed quals for SI.
that's what I'm saying. It's so weird.
It
I don't
makes
know.
no sense.
I don't know what's going on. Like I said, there's 3 facets to this team. They're playing 3 different things at once, and I get it. That's hard stuff. Like it's hard to get for all these different games, during the week. It's crazy. But now they have their full focus on this, right? At least for the time being.
I think they're still focused on SI quals. It's in like 2 weeks.
I mean, yeah,
I would hope.
Well, no, before it was like they had SCS and then 2 days later they had the quals. So here it's like they got a week or so. So they've got some mental respite here as they go into this match. It's ARIAL Academy. Nothing else popping up, at least in the immediate future. That's like tomorrow or anything. So they're gonna.
Besides the grand finals if they make it.
Yeah.
And CJ, we do have some stuff next week.
Oh yeah, that too. Let's say
we
they
got
lose.
the standalone tournament, the SATs, not the very unfun test. It's a free tournament. First 64 teams come in, $5,000 on the line. But even more important than that is a pro-am spot. That's what everybody truly wants. Get the pro-am.
Absolutely. Now that's assuming one of these teams loses. A tournament's gonna happen anyway.
Type
But in the
exclamation point
moment,
play, it gives you a link to everything, makes it all nice and easy.
yeah, I mean, in the moment, these teams probably not thinking about that tournament. They don't want to play that. They want to win here, win tomorrow in the finals.
Be punched. Ticket. Punched.
But we got to get past ARIAL Academy. And ARIAL Academy is here to play the role of spoiler. They're here to play that upset spoiler role. I can't think if there's another name for that.
They're going to be the villain.
Yeah, that's it. They're the bad guys.
Yeah, they're the bad guys.
They're here to mess up the plot armor. I mean,
does One Shot truly have plot
Thatcher?
armor?
Some
I don't know.
They actually have the opposite.
Yeah, they kind of... It's unfortunate for them. They just have some things pop up. But
Yeah.
Thatcher, Kaid, and Mira all survived the ban phase, which, makes sense that Cade survives because, if Thatcher's up, you can get rid of those Electrocross pretty easily. It's like, whatever. But the Mira could be interesting. Could be quite intriguing. What do you say, CJ?
Perhaps.
May happen.
I think what's more intriguing is that Vigil portrait. That is scary. I mean, I'm looking at the Defender operators. I don't see anything resembling a Mirror. You know what I see? Portrait aside, I see a Vigil. I see some Elysian.
Yeah.
I see some roaming operators, which means unless they fix the Mirror
Space
right
Station
now,
Gaming-esque roamage will occur.
we don't have to keep name dropping them, right? You know that.
It's
We could
the
just call
roam
it-
at this point.
We could just call it a club roam at this point.
The name is synonymous with greatness. We will see if One Shot actually have a good defense, even though we've seen this a million times and it works out more often than not because it's a basement defense.
Absolutely. I was going to say, like, maybe they coulda, shoulda, maybe sixed a mirror in there. 'Cause sometimes you still see teams running the mirror, like, because being a site player in this, obviously, you're susceptible to some rushing. So there's, like, you know, sometimes you may want the mirror towards the end, especially since if these roamers fall off early or they get slammed early, you kind of want some sort of layer to the defense that you can rely on in the site, because usually if the roamers kind of fail in any capacity, site play is going to suffer dramatically as a result. I would have liked to see a mirror, you know, as some sort of stopgap, but that's not going to be the case. We're going to have Legion.
Now playing it for the gun. Maybe the sound cues so nobody can just aggressively crouch walk into sight.
Absolutely, which, by the way, I mean, Aerial Academy is more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, more than. You know, it would almost gamble on it. Feel comfortable that all of a sudden Dommy's going to be in sight and let the LMG sing. But with how Aerial Academy are starting off, it seems like they're going for the full clear. Swaylin, he's aggressing over towards the, you know, the red 90, that area. They're trying to get the mute jammer off the wall. They just need to walk over to the window and shoot it off. But so it'll just be the upside down repel as Vena. You can do that with thermites, which is why, you know, mute is not necessarily the strongest anti-breach anymore. If you bring the thermite, you can just place it at the top and it blows up the hole. It's pretty nice. Save some time.
Speaking of saving time, if you're an attacker, you want to save as much time as possible by clearing this roam as quickly as possible, but Swaylin has something to say about that. The shotgun playing close in gym. And from the time being, I don't think there's necessarily anyone from Aerial Academy on the window, so he can very well do that comfortably. Player pushing in from the construction side of things. That's Dami. Should cut off Swaylin at some point, and I imagine there's someone from Aerial Academy in Strip holding that gym hatch, so Swaylin's going to have himself a pickle. He's going to have to get out of, but Storms. It's going to absolutely baptize Hypers. But he's also, alongside Swaylin, very low on HP. So again, when I talk about how, you know, if the roam struggles even slightly, look at how thin the site pressure and how thin the site play is going to be, assuming Storms doesn't come out of this alive. He's going to somehow drop shot Domi. Domi getting drop shot in 2021. But it's a 2 versus 2, and again, we have a minute. Kilo's on 1 HP. There's almost nothing for the site. There's this one shield.
It's like a poor man's Mira. It is a budget Mira.
That's actually a really clutch shield, considering who died. Dami died. If it had, let's say, been anyone else, Dami would have been able to kill that probably really easily.
Yep.
But instead, I don't know if Frozen's going to have those Selmas. He might. Depends on what he ends up getting to get that. But something to keep a close eye on here as we get under 30 seconds. Get Kilo on the worst gun in the game. No health. This is going to get tough. Well, Aerial Academy has to decide to do something. Right now, they're like, I don't know. Should I go here? Where are you going? You can only go one way. You're
Vena is running in circles like he's a NASCAR driver.
Like, yeah, like I've literally watched him run in circles for 40 seconds.
Turn left. They've
You got
wasted
one
so
place to
much
go.
time, CJ. So much time has been wasted. The toxic babes at bottom main are making it that the flood's going to have to come very, very late. The moto drop has occurred as bullets are going to rain out, almost taking Frozen with the shotgun in hand on the wall. Kilo just doesn't see Vena run in, but he buys it at the end, and the shotgun hits the final shot. A very, very interesting round. I think Vena needs to take a decision-making course at a local university because he didn't seem to know where he wanted to go.
I swear to God, he ran around at least 3 times.
No, it's literally he
in a
was an
circle.
NASCAR driver, and he's like, "Oh yeah, it's turn left," and just running in circles over and over again. Unless maybe he's big braining and like trying to give off sound cues or something, of like that people are sprinting around. I don't know. But it looked like he was just indecisive. They didn't know what they wanted to do.
Just a little. The drop shot, the little sequence there occurred at a minute and 5 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
From there, it's a 2v2. They just kind of, I mean, they legit lost their minds for a good 45 seconds and then decided to push. And then I don't know what the ending was. Kilo, like, Kilo's, you know, Kilo, I'm 99% sure Kilo, he plays on like one of those resolutions where, you know, it's not the same FOV as Observer. So this thermite is just crossing his screen and Kilo's not even looking at it for like the longest. That was just such a particular instance. Or just a particular round overall, honestly. Like, drop shotting. The confusion with the minute left. It was funny. But we're going to cash now. One shot bringing a gaggle of denial. That's like
You got the whole
overload.
crew.
overclocking on the
They went to
electricity
Denial
right now.
Depot, just bought the whole stock.
Denial Depot.
Attackers must
Yep.
locate and defuse a bomb.
I wonder how this is really going to work in theory. I mean, the Thatcher obviously can get both of those at once, but depending on how they trick it,
Well, I mean,
it may go
you know
around
how
the
you
Thatcher.
know how you make sure you don't get tricked?
How's that?
Go down below. Something that
Stop.
Aqualix was unable to come
Makes-
up with.
That makes too much
Yesterday.
sense. That makes too much sense. Plus, One Shot also has a shield set up below,
Uh-huh.
and a Wild Swalen who's like the top-rated player in the league defending it. So that might be a problem for Dami, who's actually droning it out right now. So
And they could
you
just go
may-
to the window, burn, and nade.
They could also just cap top play. There's a lot of things could happen here actually
Mm-hmm.
from the server window because there's no Wamai, even though Wamai, he's banned.
Yep.
There's no Wamai.
Located.
Frozen should be able to just.
Oh yeah, he's 100%. He's got the lineup. He's a lineup Larry. For
that
he
what he's
drops those
doing? Oh.
nerdy Twitter videos of, hey guys, look at this pixel angle I found. That's what he's doing to burn out and allow for the breach to go up. That's a
charge
coconut,
on
bro.
now.
Oh,
That may have been a little late.
is that gonna get it?
Yeah, it was late as hell.
Yeah.
Okay, like
Vena is out here, twiddling his thumbs, like once again not able to make a decision, and his indecisiveness yoinks a thermite charge.
Vena is like mid Valorant download instead of putting the charge on the wall.
And he's answering e-girls in his Twitter DMs right now instead of
I mean, that
placing
was-
a thermite charge
Do you realize how like bad the timing has to be for you
Yes.
to not
to get
have a-
Cade tricked as thermite. Yes, I know.
with Capital
Oh my-
flames as well? Kilo just slams Hypers trying to force the garage door, but the Capital behind Hypers.
You go one
Gonna
for
get
one.
the trade.
the
Yeah, go one for
Thatcher.
one. They do have the wall. I don't even think the wall's open yet.
No, it
still,
is not.
actually. So they're just forcing that and hoping it works. Which I mean, to be fair, it kind of is. I don't know if they're gonna get past this garage wall though, or in storms. That's gonna be very interesting.
Yeah, things are not looking good for the Aerial Rise Academy attack. But then again, who knows what One Shot are gonna do? They could do their very best impression of something not fun. Slippery. He's waiting for the call that somebody's on CC window. He will jump out at any given moment. Court swings, takes out Dami. Frozen also falls in the meantime to Storms, who's DB&O'd as a little bit of a trade. Vena, he's getting smoked out. He has the diffuser and he's trying to pick up any kills, but with 30 seconds left, it's still not looking great. Man advantage, it's on the side of One Shot. They've still got utility. They've got a Nitro that Slippery can rotate below as Toxic Babes are flying on the only entry point that they can funnel into. You'd almost have to say it take a Christmas miracle for Aerial Arise to win this round. Christmas was 4 days ago, CJ.
15 seconds to go.
Well, plan's gonna go down, but more importantly, Slippery, if he's not like moving like a 9-year-old man, should throw a C4 here, right? Surely. This is a 1v2 though for Venatorial. He snaps around on one, but cannot get Slippery. I was just wondering. Slippery's in construction.
Yeah, I was wondering why he was in con. That was...
Yeah, the C4 was badly positioned, but it didn't matter in the end because there's just a death box in there. You can't run out on the plat and post planet. And obviously, you got the plan was just swamped immediately by people with guns. So once again, we bring ourselves back to the issue, getting the plat wall open. How in the hell are there Capital Flames, a Thatcher, and your Thermite of all the breachers, and the timing was still off that badly? That genuinely is impressive. Even without the Capital, usually that goes in the favor of the Thermite 99% of the time. And we just witnessed the 1% of the time it doesn't work.
Vena just... I don't know if he's never played Thermite before, but he has the
He's
elite skin, so you would hope he's played Thermite before.
I mean,
To locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I don't know.
maybe he was getting gaslit by the comms. He was hearing a bunch of this and that, like, and it was just horrible communication. Because that's just ridiculous to me, actually.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. A Capital Flame and Thatcher is not enough against Cade. Okay.
Because do you know what the other crazy thing you can do against a Cade? I know this might be a super high level concept, but do you know how you throw one EMP? What if you just throw a second one, CJ? And you stop the Cade Claw that takes like 3 seconds to load up, resets that.
5 seconds remaining.
Stop making sense.
My bad. I'm about
think-
to
well,
have so many pennies I'll have a full dollar with how much sense I'm making.
We talked about Denial Depot and all, but like, it's not like that was like like they didn't know what operators were available or something. Like, like maybe That's what happened? I have no idea what I just watched. But all I know is they've made a cash attack look like the hardest thing in the world. And going into gym, which to a lot of people is a better version, cash, where that same dynamic could technically come out. Obviously, one shot's not bringing nearly the same levels of denial as before. But it's, again, a problem. Getting walls open and doing what you need to do. They're all pushing in through garages. Storm's just a narrow, that's a rare whiff. Rare whiff from Storm. 99% of the time he hits those. But clearly this is the game of the 1% of the times, clearly. So, still have a construction hold for one shot that they can fall back on. As obviously, we see teams more and more these days not necessarily holding the death box that's cash, but instead opting for open ranges, open pastures. That is construction and obviously that mirror in logistics.
Yeah, but I thought for a second that thermite charge was maybe going to blast open. I didn't know if there was some nerdy stuff that was going to happen with perpendicular damage, but hey, that's another angle that Slippery has to worry about. And Dami, he's peeking the Selma holes that Frozen just made, bisecting all of construction, and really peeking in towards the bomb site. Over through that door, you can watch all the way to the bottom windows, but you can't quite watch this shield that Kilo is playing as the mute jammer, blocking Vena's drones. Gets removed as the rest of his team. They hop on cams. They're trying to figure out exactly where all these one-shot defenders are. And surprise, surprise, they're all on the bomb site. No roamers. And no more Vena. No more jacuzzi pressure. Because Quartz just waltzes straight in, sends him goodbye. Thought for a second maybe that was the diffuse holder, but it wasn't. A Spiker's just going to drop in. He's taking shots. Down goes Kilo. It's to his way. As Hyper is also going to pick up Quartz, leaving it just up to Swalen in a 1v4. Make that a 1v3 because somebody team... Oh, Dami probably died to a frost mat, but Hypers will still pick up the kill onto Swalen before jumping into one of his own. An interesting execute that just solid flood from Aerial Arise, making the tertiary bomb site look like the tertiary for sure.
Also just some missed opportunities, clearly. One shot. I mean, they managed to get the kill on a Minotaurial, and of course, you know, we talked about how Storms narrowly missed his opportunities as well early on in the round. But all in all, indeed, a very solid attack from Aerial Academy. The thing they've kind of been feasting on this whole tournament is nobody believes. They don't have the craziest coordination. They don't have the craziest strategy. But they do capitalize very well when those opportunities are presented. And one shot presented a lot of opportunities. So going back to basement, of course, this was a quite interesting round. First time around. But it's the same concept. Same roam coming out from one shot. Wonder if it's going to be the same type of clear from Aerial Academy. Because to be honest, I wouldn't even say the clear was like the worst thing. I mean, with the exception of the drop shot. That could have been a 3v2 for Aerial Academy after clearing all the roamers with a minute to go on the site. So they had the right idea.
Could have been a 3v2 with Dami still having util.
Just the final minute didn't really go their way. But the first 2 minutes before that were quite good. So maybe we see more of that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe. But what we do know is that Storms is in strip. It's having fun over by the pole. I guess maybe trying to get droned and make Aerial Academy be like, okay, yeah, we have to full clear this area too, but Today's just going to fall off and barricade it. It's another layer of the defense where I believe it was Hypers who got into bathroom was holding that cut off for quite a while, which means that yes, Aerial Academy, they know how to clear this style of roam. You get your cutoffs here, there. There's only certain positions that they can fall back onto, which is, you know, main stairs, red stairs, and the two hatches that land you over towards either stock or pool table. Hypers, he's already gotten in. He'll just be watching this hatch, and he's going to get obliterated by Swalen. Not necessarily having the hottest game, but he's had the hottest season so far, and it's pretty easy to see why when you're hitting shots like that.
I can't imagine how many times I've watched an attacker push in from strip like that and look up at the hatch and actually get the kill as the attacker. So for Swalen to win that in reverse is exceptional, to put it lightly. Usually you see the defender losing that one, but yes, Swalen with the early kill. Quartz punishing the ace who decided to just waltz into New Blue. And once again, I mean, one shot's still just kind of chilling in bar. So I would say this round for the Academy is going much worse. And that's putting it lightly. Dami just kind of losing his fight to Storms as well. NerdStreet Academy is getting pieced apart bit by bit as One Shot's sitting at a decisive advantage. Spiker trying to find something for his team, but I'm sure Storms left the building years ago. Storm has already run off with the plug, or off on the plug actually.
Ran off the plug twice.
Maybe.
Yes. Now he's just holding blue. This is the one good thing about One Shot is when they need to, they can be very, very structured and very, very smart. And hey, they have the man advantage. IGL Kilo just goes, hey guys, let's not be stupid. That's the only way we're going to lose this round. And, you know, you got to agree with that testament that the only way they can really lose this round is if they really royally mess up. Some drones are going out towards blue. You got the crouch walk, a little bit of sneaky play over towards Vena's dirt push. But as Spiker just drops in, he's going to slam Storms. Oh my goodness. Kilo gets the refrag, thankfully. And he'll get the second as well. Both headshots with, as you said earlier, the worst gun in the game. Made it look pretty good. It's that game sense right there. It was beautiful. Immaculate. 3 rounds to 1 for One Shot.
Clearly was not immaculate for ARIAL Academy. That was very strange.
Yeah, it was rough.
They went from before the opening round, they struggled with the minute, and they couldn't even enter the building because of that singular. Well, they couldn't enter the what's it called, the stock side of the middle floor because of that one castle barricade that just threw them for a loop, and it broke the code, and they were running in circles. To literally having their main hard breach just, oh, I gotta get in there and I gotta get to blue immediately, without even considering that Quartz could be there with the shotgun. That was just I'm honestly not quite sure how to like even break down that round. It's very strange from ARIAL Academy.
Yeah, it was a rough one. It was just super segmented. Right idea, not the right timing. The synergy was off.
Like Hyper's just peeking the gym hatch. I don't. Last time I checked, Jacuzzi wasn't opened at that time. You know,
it was not.
That was pretty early, right? So it's like literally the first round they did that fine, and then next round the
timing was off.
I guess it's been the story.
Like 3 seconds later.
Through the 3 rounds they've lost, I guess that's really been the story, is their timing is just not there in the critical moments.
Which does make sense in the grand scheme of things, as you consider that this team was made, what? I think solidified 3 hours before roster lock of Quals, with Frozen joining, becoming their IGL. So the strides that they have made to make semifinals is admirable, but you still, after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, about a month of playing, you want to be able to iron out these issues, because they aren't necessarily like they're going for these crazy util-oriented executes that require pinpoint precision. It's placing down a thermite charge as the EMP goes off.
Yeah, I mean, we just,
that's some
honestly,
silver ranked level coordination.
Can we watch it? Can we just stare intently at this? Because this is literally going to decide the round. Can they Thatcher charge catapult? Okay. Are they going to do it? Let's see. They're talking about it right now. They're discussing it. They're aggressively discussing what they need to do here. Okay, so there goes the flame. There goes the Thatcher. The Kate flew out, but he already put the charge on, so it should blow up the wall now. Which means that we can play Siege now, Connor. We can play Siege if we're ARIAL Academy. Can you believe it? I think they also have the garage hole, I want to say, because Frozen shot the bolt from there. May have been with his hard breach charge, though. So
yeah, he does in the hard breach in like the top right corner.
Should be able to vault that, right?
Yeah,
so,
you can vault through that.
They can start working garage now, right?
Wow, this is incredible.
They could Thatcher these ADSs, toss some nades, and win this round.
Crazy.
It's that mini game was everything. Let me tell you, because now the site gets uncomfortable. I will say that wow. Trades back and forth. Quartz had something. Quartz was playing very aggressively on the breach, and yeah, Dami's just Quartz just slowed the breach. I know he did, because he was playing close in the drone and he died it down. So there we go. We got Storms and Swalen left. All you have to do is win that breach mini game, and the site gets a hell of a lot harder to play for the defenders. Utility or not on the side of Storms, this is just horrible for in terms of positioning and whatnot. For the defense, in terms of crossfires, it's hell on earth. And yes, It's crazy, Connor. You breached the wall.
And all of a
things get
sudden,
really
that
easy for
site
you.
sucks.
Yeah, it's crazy. The site stinks.
Yep.
But
Crazy.
it's the mini games.
Solid. That was a very solid round from Arial. Very, very, very solid. Very solid. Expected. Maybe my standards might be a little bit too high for them, but you should understand that, yes, you have Thatcher, get the wall open. Come on. You got this. I believe in you. But apparently One Shot does not. They do not believe in them to do that again. Because they're going to repeat the bomb site. Slightly different hold. We're going to see the Aruni come out on Slippery. No longer is he going to be the Goyo. Doing that crazy play in the first 30 seconds. And immediately be punished. And lead to the man disadvantage that One Shot was not able to overcome. Right, CJ?
Of course they weren't overcoming. I had a smoke swing in the breach. It's tough. And all this stuff that gets opened up around you and you don't have the Wamai, it's the extra layer of protection. It's World War VIII. So I'm wondering, I mean, what, they changed one operator here, the Aruni? Will that change things? Perhaps, because you know what? I wonder if they're going to put an Aruni gate on that little... Looks like they already did it. You see the window where Frozen's shooting his bolt through at?
Mm-hmm.
Might actually catch a bolt or two, which might cause some problems. But then I don't know. Then again, I feel like you'd have to put another gate on Garage, where he's shooting it from as well. But I don't know if they did that or not. That's like the only thing I can see the Aruni changing.
They got to shoot the barricade.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Aruni is going to change the synopsis if Ariel Academy can execute. And again, that's the thing. That's literally the deciding factor. Can they execute? Wow, Kilo's actually K-tricking Arby's charge. Maybe. Did you get it?
You got the first one.
Unfortunate. That was actually really... That's actually... I imagine that's very difficult to sit there kind of far away on rafters, relatively far away, and try to K-trick something below you like that. Mm-hmm. A fair attempt, but it didn't work. And no, once again, this mini game here on the main breach, the frozen flame is going to fly any second. Likely through that Aruni gate, he's going to waste the smoke. Yeah. But he's going to have to shoot. Yeah, he's just going to shoot a flame through here. So the Aruni gate really didn't change much. Once again, the wall going to get open. And once again, Ariel Academy should be sitting pretty to execute and do what they like to do. But again, that's down to them. This isn't down to One Shot. One Shot is not in the driver's seat here. Ariel Academy has the keys. Ariel Academy is in drive. Let's see what they do with it. This is a really clever angle from the bandit onto that, you know, that little area where the attackers like to come in from below into the rafter area. So that could be something. But yeah, Kilo needs the grace of God on his side at this point because it's about to get hot.
Yep. And Kilo has not been doing that great inside of rafters. He's the one round where he went 1 for 1 that they won. Other than that, he's been dying kind of unpunished storms. He takes out hippers. As Dami's going to get that kill onto Kilo. Rafters is free if they can remove Swaylin from Swamp. He has a nice 90-degree cross that I don't quite know if Frozen is, you know, aware of. Swamp's an interesting position. Most of the times you got to expect a defender there. But as Spiker, he's moved into Lounge. He could cut off that player, bisect the teammates that are on red in Swamp, and that's exactly what he does, but doesn't expect Quartz to immediately swing for that trade.
I don't know if I would expect 2 people on the stairs or in that area myself. But nonetheless, they do have Raptor control, and they do have this crossfiring. And keep in mind, Frozen had to use one of his bolts to actually kill that Aruni gate. So that's one smoke that's not available for this execute. C4 flying out from Storms, maybe a little premature, as now there's only one smoke from Quartz. And to be completely real with you, in my experience, smoke is very hit or miss in denying the plant on this bomb site at times. Dami swings honestly kind of unnecessarily there, and Quartz is going to get the kill on a Venatorial from the red hallway. And
you know, I thought he shotgunned him from below.
Did he?
Maybe. I don't know.
Interesting, because he smoked like the default.
Yeah.
And then he knew they were planning on the breach. This guy's a maniac. He has great headphones. Unlike Karn and Company last night. And Quartz knows what's going on.
He does.
Yeah, he did do it from below. Okay, I saw it there at the end. Wow. So I guess that kill on the sledge early was huge because, I mean, if the sledge was still down there, we're talking a different round.
Yep. Interestingly enough, we see a 4-4 or 4-2 split for the defensive side, which yesterday we saw the double 5-1. We were like, huh, I mean, I guess you can justify it with the ban, CJ. Maybe you can say, like, oh yeah, Aqualix, they didn't have their IGL with them. Of course, their attacks are going to suck. No, you just got to shoot a mute chamber, CZ. Come on, man. But not a bad half for one shot, because I feel like this should be a 3-3 kind of clubhouse, personally.
Personally, I can't put a label on it, actually.
Well, personally, CJ, do you know what I'm excited for?
Let me guess, the tournament?
Yeah, the standalone tournament, the SAT, the mid-season tournament, whatever you want to call it. It's in just a couple of days, January 3rd. Just a couple of days away. Free registration, 5K on the line, Pro-Am spot on the line, but it's limited to the first 64 teams. Make sure to type !play in chat. Get that link, get signed up, get your friends, get your enemies, get the random dude you met in your unranked that you thought was kind of cool. Get them all on your team, because who knows? You could be flying out to Vegas or wherever the event's going to be. Play against some NAL teams. That'd be cool. And if you can't win that, you got to pay money to go to the Stage 2 qualifiers. That where you get a whole month of Siege if you can survive the gauntlet. There will be 2 set of qualifiers. The date's right there. Same !play down in chat for that info as well.
It could be like ARIAL Academy, who just kind of got together and played.
Yes,
and look who they got.
exactly.
They're top 4. These guys were dead in the water a couple months ago, and look at them now. They're in the semifinals. They're hanging tough against one shot again. You said it could have been a 3-3. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. Here they are. They get defense now. They get the Mira. More importantly, let me tell you, that Warden is almost... Warden? That's extremely interesting. Is it for the Capitao smokes?
I do not know.
But I guess it's ubiquitous, right? You can use that for the Capitao smokes. It's a C4 op. And it's just a good, nasty gun. So you know what?
1.5 on the MPX goes kind of hard.
I mean, I respect it. It's a respectable pick, even if, you know, it's like, ooh, Warden, they could have had this or that. A strong pick. C4 flying out, that could get a kill, but instead it will not kill Kilo. That's honestly very unfortunate. That maybe should have killed. But Kilo's still alive nonetheless, and that's all that utility that I was talking about. The Warden could be very critical in the dying moments of the round, because Kilo is almost certainly going to try to execute from this hatch. Light machine gun in hand. And Swalen, yeah, Mr. Top Rated. It's going to be planting for one shot.
Yeah, Mr. Top Rated hasn't had that good of a game so far, but maybe the attack is where he's going to turn up, because there's 50 seconds left. Spiker's taking a lot of damage, and the cheeky angle, as most people think that position's safe, and not from Storms, is it? And they'll take that first frag. That's the main line of defense. As Slippery, he's just holding the swing of Dami, but the refrag will come through as Frozen outside of dirt is going to be taking a lot of shots. But it's just absolute pandemonium. So many players are running all over the place. Vena, he's coming up the main stairs trying to retake the top floor because this bomb is down. They're protecting it from above. The LMG is just spraying bullets. Vena's going to walk right into it, leaving it all up to Frozen. Take down Swalen, but now has to worry about the vertical pressure. So many holes that he can't quite see. Kilo will finish him up in one shot. A dominant attack, solid flood, and good post plans will net them their first attacking win.
So I actually thought they were going to use the Capitao strictly on Kitchen Hatch, because I'm used to watching mediocre gameplay. But let me tell you something. He'll actually used it to clear blue. Saw some flames coming out. Obviously, Dami, you know, in his... Honestly, really, he's just like looking 10 steps ahead, because he's playing an off angle away from where they're obviously going to flame. And they had no idea. And somehow Slippery still won that gunfight against Dami. And Slippery just, living up to his name, absolutely takes control of blue for enough time to get that plant down. And then, of course, from there, it's well-held crossfires. Got a player holding bottom main. And I would say one shot is a stand-up challenge league level. What did Court say?
Attackers need to locate and defuse.
NAL ready. Question mark.
So they are the next best team. Says that they're better better than XM. So if
They
there's
had
a
all
new
their-
org coming in to pick the 10th team, Quartz is saying, you better pick us. The right thing to do is the smart thing to do. His words, not mine.
They had all their dots or all their I's dotted, and their T's crossed in that attack. I mean, there's literally, I can't complain.
Nope.
I think the only thing
This
they
is their
didn't-
map choice, gotta say. You would expect them to be looking pretty dominant. Maybe not this dominant. It's Ariel Academy.
10 seconds remaining.
So some fundamental mistakes.
Attackers have located a bomb.
But we'll see if
Think
they
they
can
didn't-
maybe claw back on their defenses, because you got Mira at the disposal. Just because you have her doesn't mean you have to use her.
What, are you saying they shouldn't run Mira here?
You know, I feel like Mira's an awkward pigeonhole that sometimes people just feel because she's available, they have to try to work her in.
Okay.
Sometimes it can get a little bit awkward. Maybe you're just not a Mira team. You're going to be on your fraud maneuvers. Not really know what's going on, but it's like, hey, we have Mira. Cool.
You're right. You know what? I think they should run Warden over Mira here, actually.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, Jim, I would say, is probably the strongest Mira site, personally. Makes sense.
Attackers have dropped the
Are you
bomb.
like emotionally manipulating me right now?
No.
Which one is it? So you just said Mira is bad, and now you're saying Mira is.
No, I'm
some teams
saying-
aren't a Mira team, but what are you telling
No.
me right now? See that? Clarify your stance.
Bomb located by attackers.
I don't know, man. You're just going to have to figure it out. I've given you all the clues. Now you must.
Okay, so now we have the Mira that is clearly an obstacle.
Yes.
Obviously combined with the Cade. Well, of course, we have Thatcher from Quartz, meaning once again, we're gonna have a breach mini game between these two to get the control we want. If you're an attacker, obviously, there's Mira's looking at both preferred avenues of approach: construction and that jacuzzi breach. And obviously, you don't want to hop in windows against a frost mat unless you're crazy. C4 are gonna blow up some chairs, some foldables. But not any player. Swaylin is just so incredible with his positioning. A C4 could not possibly kill him. Kilo's actually coming from the on the misdirection with Capital, which you would think maybe he'd be using those smokes to smoke this Mira. Maybe that's exactly what he's coming to do, actually. As I say that, he rotates away from Cash, seemingly to go help his buddy Swaylin. I think, a good smoke push here through the Mira is what's on the menu, though Swaylin just gets Swaylin gets folded immediately as I say that. So maybe the smoke wasn't all
my.
Dr. Order, and Spiker just slammed Slippery as well, meaning this attack is kind of run into a brick wall. Miras, crossfires. I mean, I don't think that attacker has any idea that Quartz is just, or rather Frozen's just in the corner. Grenade, soft nade of the century, I guess. Inventorial from below is going to stop Storms from hopping in the site, though Kilo is starting to defuse elsewhere. Mira is just sandwiching Quartz between a rock and a hard place, and from here he's going to have to cover. He gets 2 critical kills off the coverage in one shot. We'll be going to match point. That is the most improv attack I think I've seen in him. What? There's so many moving parts there. People hopping in windows, smokes, entering thermites. But they get the bomb down regardless.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Feel like Ariel just kind of never pinpointed exactly where all the pressure was coming from, because how can you? It came from everywhere. Came from everywhere at once.
Yeah, like what?
And sure, Slippery the NS to Spiker, because he got absolutely slammed. Spiker obliterated Slip, but the round still went into One Shot's favor, and they got that 4-round buffer. They can afford to have some fun, flash the Ying, go back to the Capital, bring the Amaru, never mind back to the Capital. Whole lot of indecisiveness
Attackers need to locate
for
and defuse
Mr.
bomb.
Kilo. He kind of realizes, hey, I just need a hard reach charge. Maybe it'd be more fun to have the G8 as opposed to the LMG, but we've seen what damage LMGs can do, where you just pre-fire every angle and hold down mouse 1 for 45 seconds, and anybody that's in your crosshair all of a sudden gets cut down.
See, because Kilo's kind of just Mr. Do-It-All at the Capital lately. At least on the attack out for one shot, he's everywhere. Doing what needs to be done. And well, as we go into this basement defense once
5
again,
seconds to go.
Aerial Academy's turn to roam. They tried the anchor setup last time.
Attackers are moving out to
It didn't
locate
quite
a
work
bomb.
out for them. They're going to try to roam. They're going to try to resist the onslaught of one shot. Not allow them to just have a clean round to just set up and do what they want to do. Frozen going for a very half-hearted spawn peek. You know, if you're going to do it, Frozen, stick your face in there. He's just going to crack the window and run away. But yes, one shot looking to clear this room. Not necessarily going for any sort of direct takes or anything. No. They're going to challenge it. Storms might be prey here. I don't know if... Hypers has no idea. The Storm's just kind of sitting out there near dirt. Storms is looking at... Or rather, Hypers is looking at something totally unrelated to where Storms is. Storms is so far away from where he's looking that is... I gotta say his headphones have betrayed him here. Look. Look at this. Poor guy. He's literally looking at nothing. And Storms is looking at dirt. Unfortunate. If only he had cheats.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. Or just the spectator view. So yes. One shot's trying to work their way through this room. We do see a one-shot attacker in strip trying to... Honestly, those reinforcements are strip are rather clutch because it's allowing Spiker to just sit here like a madman, where ordinarily you would expect, you know, that strip ball's one of the first things blown up. Of course, just what the Ferrari peaks from the hatch. And just when I thought Spiker was safe, he just gets scalped.
He was in a lot of danger, actually. You're saying, oh, yeah, he's safe. And then
I
just
thought he was
immediately
good.
had blown up.
I thought he was safe. I'm like, oh yeah, no one's gonna... So I mean, it didn't look like there was a drone on him or anything.
There was a drone on him. They were shooting. He was shooting it at the other side of the pool table.
I didn't see it. I didn't see it.
You know, turn up. You were talking about your Twitch on the display.
I don't know. I
ratio.
thought Spiker
You need to
had,
turn yours up, man.
I thought Spiker had something going for him there.
No,
I'm not gonna lie.
He did not.
I
But
thought.
Aerial Academy, they don't have as much going for them as one shot. Sure, I mean, I think Vena's Nitro could go pretty impactful, but it's the full retake of the top floor. They just sent 3 guys upstairs, 2 on the top side, middle floor, and 1 all the way up. That's Hyper. Storms takes out Dami, and down goes Vena. The play, the gambit, it hasn't quite worked until Frozen got the one shot onto Swaylin. Hypers, he's gonna go for 2, gets caught reloading, and the pistol of Kilo will send this map to its anticlimactic conclusion.
Yeah, that was pretty one-sided. One shot clearly has a better grip on what they want to do, what they have in mind. And I think from the opening round, that was the vibe I was getting. Venatorial, the minute I saw Venatorial spinning around in circles with them, not knowing what he wanted to do, and then we go to one-shot attacks, and they're ad-libbing everything.
Yeah.
And they're doing all these perfect adjustments and smokes and whatever.
I liked the idea in that last round for Ariel. You know, it's just, if they get bird control, they're gonna win. So why not try for the gambit? But they just got... Gambit didn't work. Either it works really well or it works really poorly. Unfortunately, it was the latter for Aerial Academy, and they get smoked on one shot's map choice.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised they took 2 rounds the way they were playing, to be honest. So, I don't know what that bodes going into map number 2. I'm gonna be honest.
If you are Aerial Academy, you only have one hope. You have one chance. Maybe Villa is your map. There's something else you need to do, CJ. You need to go down to your kitchen, open up your cabinet, and grab some Myconite.
You think that'll help them?
I think that will really help them because that delicious fruity flavor from those candies will take your game from here up to the next level. Whether it's the regular Mike and Ike with the normal flavors, or if you're feeling a little bit more spicy, get the mega mix for additional flavors and goodness. Just take you from here to here. Level up your game with Mike and Ike.
That's really inspirational. But I think
need
Aerial Rise is going to lead a lot more than Mike and Ike, because Villa's a strong map for one shot, and that strong map for one shot is coming up right after this very quick break. Stay tuned.
My name is Venet. Oh shit! This stuff is so awkward. So 3 of us have CL experience. With me, Frozen and Hippers. Frozen and Hippers were in top 4 teams during their time. And then Dalmy won arguably the biggest underage T3 league ever with last season of CCS. And then Spiker is the famed TSM Slayer. So I think we should handle it pretty well. We're a pug stack, but I think we can pull some wins out, surprise some people. We lacked a central voice and we struggled with IGLing. At the time we were playing with Indy, but in the second qualifier, we kind of surprise picked up Frozen 20 minutes before, and it just kind of worked out. Like I said, Frozen brings, that core voice, that IGL experience. He's able to call adaptations on the fly really well, which is really important, especially as a pug stack. And I think Frozen brings that hunger to the table. I think our group, Group D, is probably the group of death. I think it's probably going to be the most competitive in terms of how close it is. I think the other group that would be the most competitive is probably Group C, but off the top of my head, I'm forgetting which teams they had. But yeah, that's who I think the group of death is. Our team, everyone on it is really good friends, and we have been for a while. This is actually, ironically, the Pug Stack is an iteration of a team that Dalmy and I were trying to put together around 3 months ago, and it just kind of formed by accident. So yeah, I think our chemistry is probably our biggest strong suit. I would say definitely Surf. Their mechanics and their team play and the way that they play, how they hold crossfires, it's a very hard play style to adapt to, and they shouldn't be underestimated. Evil Geniuses back at Invite 2018, I remember sitting in a Discord before I even knew that I wanted to play competitive, watching Invitational, and getting excited and invested, even though I had never really watched competitive play before. Kind of the spectacle of it all is what drew me in. Have to be Dalmy without a question. The dude is like, he practically lives off like bread and chicken nuggets, like Hawaiian sweet rolls and croissants, like I don't know how, and Coca-Cola, bro. Like he consumes whatever he wants. Mainly Siege and Valorant. I just took like around over a month break, so did Dalmy, and we just kind of played Valorant the whole time, but back to Siege like we always are. And then I throw some Rust in there sometimes. I play it in like 3-month cycles, so. Probably Australia. I just think Australia is cool. It has a lot of like really amazing like habitats, and fauna there is sick. Like the animals and wildlife's natural habitat is kind of found nowhere else in the world.
Players rose from their beds from the east to the west to compete and prove which players were best. Through weeklies and monthlies, the hype did climb, as soon came the grand finals. Locations in due time. The road was a trying one, wrists aching with cramps. In the end, victors rose. We call them Winter Champs.
Make that a 1v2. 2 seconds left. It's gonna come down.
Favor making a third as he looks up. Make it up. He finds the draw 3. Stunning here from
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Map 1 was, if you blinked, you missed it. 7-2 victory for One Shot on their map choice of Clubhouse. It really wasn't close, but Arial Academy, they can look to bounce back on their next choice of Villa, right, CJ?
I'm going to ignore all of that, and you know what I want to talk about? Vena's interview. Editorial said, the greatest hallmark of our team is synergy. They looked completely unsynergized from round 1 of last map. maybe it was one shot's pick. But if you look even a fraction of the way you looked on Clubhouse and Villa, if you are ARIAL Academy, I just can't envision them winning that map. I can't see it in my head. Kilo's pistol whipping people. It's hard for me to see it.
Yeah, Spiker the only one positively rated on the team.
Wow.
Court's going crazy with the e-girl buff.
And
Going absolutely crazy.
Swaylin clearly did not have that.
No, he did not.
He got a plant, no.
That's about it.
I don't know why is Swaylin like
Club just isn't his map. Maybe he will shine on Villa.
he never does good when I'm casting it, bro. If he played like where's the 30? Like he was like 35 and like 13 or something. And the other best of 3. I get to watch
only on
it.
Cafe if he's Twitch. And we would have to wait for the map 3 decider to see that.
Like, why do I get the imposter Swaylin, man? And what's funny is we have imposter Swaylin and these guys are still winning like this. Like I never felt like one shot was gonna lose the map at any point.
I didn't feel like they were gonna lose rounds.
So I don't have any belief. Listen, I already lacked belief in ARIAL Academy. Now I'm really losing belief that they have any chance on map 2. But that's when they're at their best, when no one believes in them, no one has faith. They somehow manage to hang around. One shot plays a sloppy game here on map 2.
Which they can.
They very much are capable of doing.
They are very capable of doing that. It's rare to see, but you know,
not necessarily
can happen. And we have seen it more often than not on Villa. Villa has been one of those maps that they still seem confident in. They'll leave it up, they'll pick it, and they'll leave it as deciders. They'll go to it back-to-back times and back-to-back BO3s and upper bracket and lower bracket finals. In CL, they'll go to Villa twice and lose it both times. They'll go to it here. Or more so, they'll allow Aerial Arise to go to that map. Pretty default bans, you know, Thatcher, Habana, Mira. Nothing crazy. It makes sense for Villa.
We've seen mixed bag of attacks from one shot as well. They're liable to rush you.
Mm-hmm. They do that one weird study rush to top main flood that I thought was a one-off, like flash in the pan, like, oh yeah, look, they did it. They did it again. And they did it again and again and again. I'm like, oh, that's actually just their attack for AV. Oh, that's interesting.
So let's see. Yeah, that is indeed interesting. We have seen a blitz. Have you seen Spiker on blitz before?
I have not.
Yeah, he's gonna 6 that. I like. Usually, when you see someone who's never played a shield before play a shield, that means they've lost all hope, and that they're just like. Have you ever had the person in rank stacks like that? They're just so down bad that they're just playing a shield.
When you just can't shoot back, so you still try to help your team.
Yeah, like you just lock in. You lock in like Monty and Clash like for no reason. And thankfully he 6'd that because he
on the pacifist run.
He was like top fragging last map. I was about to be like,
the only one positively rated on his team.
Yeah, I was about to say what was wrong with this man. Okay, back on the Iana. More importantly, yeah, I mean that's a really frag heavy lineup. Twitch Hypers. Let me tell you, Hypers on Twitch. We talk about Swaylin on Twitch. Hypers was the OG of that this year.
Oh,
Stage,
yeah.
Ooh, early in the spring?
Yeah, stage 1.
5 seconds left before insertion.
The stage 1 Hypers on Twitch on Chalet?
Attackers are moving
With
out to locate a
Supernova?
bomb and defuse it.
Right at the beginning of playoffs? Dropping 20 bombs. I was like, what the heck? Never seen this from Hypers.
Well, he's going to have to literally live up to that hype right here, right now. I thought that was a silencer. That's an extended barrel on that Vector. And that's the Swaylin hopping out with an ump and missing everything but that one last shot, actually. No, he nailed all the shots except one. Storms is also going to just get wallbanged to hell and back. And well, when I say one shot can give you a mixed bag of whatever, that is exactly what I mean. What? Swaylin? That's one way to use Pulse. there's multiple applications for Pulse on this map with the plethora of soft floor, and instead he's opting to hop out. Oh, Kilo is going to get a trade. And Kilo is just running around his gate at this point. All bets are off for one shot now as they try to wrestle back control of this round. The smoke on 90, fighting the 90 repel. And Hyper's just going to run into sight. I mean, Kilo is 10,000 miles away from this. Kilo is in another zip code right now, leaving just Slippery to hold off 4 very aggressive Aerial Academy players who are already planting the diffuser a minute and 10 seconds into the round. The bomb's down. Okay, almost wasn't down. And he didn't even kill Frozen either. It's just Kilo after all that drama. Wow, he was so close to killing Frozen actually. If he just knew that Frozen was planning there. But he didn't know. So he was kind of slow to peer around the corner, and that was the difference.
That's such a weird plant spot too.
Yeah, like Frozen just kind of walked in and planted.
Yeah,
like,
he just walked in and planted. Like, could have gone to the right and like tucked more in, or could have gone to the bomb chassis and tucked in. But no, it was just like in the middle. I don't know what sort of other benefits that would have given, because they can still long arm and be safe from red. So, yeah, whatever. Maybe I'm looking to do. I think he just was like, oh yeah, one person offside. Let's just get the bomb down. Why not? Frozen wanted his cost for the round. That's what he wanted.
I mean, he succeeded, and he didn't die somehow.
Yeah. And had he died, he would have been traded.
There we are. Total sight switch now for one shot. I don't know what the hell that was. That defense was ridiculous. And again, that's what you can expect that out of one shot. You will get like a mega mix bag of Mike and Ike. You can get all different kinds of flavors. That was probably the worst flavor in the bag though. Whatever we just watched. So I'm sure they're gonna play this one a lot more closer to the chest. Maybe. Of course, it's barricading, ceding over control of the north side of the map to Aerial Academy. So they want to come from that direction. Obviously, Vena's not on the hard breach anymore. He's on the sledge. And he's looking to get aggressive. Most of the aerial attackers seemingly looking to rotate towards that master side of things to clear over. Yep, that's exactly what they're going to do. Quartz is just punching stuff. Just beating the punching random objects on the map.
I think Quartz should have gotten that kill on the 90 window. All I can see was his head, and he left him on 1 HP.
Well,
maybe that round would have gone differently.
The game doesn't care about your feelings. The game just kind of decides what it decides.
Neither do facts, CJ. Neither do facts.
So Dami's role-playing as like a sniper right now. Just providing support from 10,000 miles. I'm pretty sure the main entry, and he is sitting outside on a tower. Impact to kill a drone.
It was a Twitch drone. He knew it was a Twitch drone.
Yeah, worth. I mean, I'm not arguing. It's worth. Okay, so
now,
Dami's finally
Hypers has no more Twitch drones.
I mean, that's biblical, isn't it?
It is. No mas. And that is a very easy way to get rid of all the magnets that Mr. Quartz is continuously generating over towards top red, bolstering that hold. Is Dami trying to cut off any support from 90, but the nitro cell's gonna go up and blow him sky high. Say hello to Storms, Dami. You got to go watch cams for the rest of your team. Frozen, he's opened up the walls, and Hypers is there to help with the burns, potentially with his smokes, getting them caught by the Wamai discs. But without 90 control, it's not really a fun prospect, as Slippery is going to fall at the hands of Hypers. I think he peeked out over towards the zombie doors. Quartz is going to fall at the bottom side from Spiker's pressure. All of a sudden, a round that looked pretty good for one shot was looking pretty strong with all their positions. Poof, in the blink of an eye, all that control is gone. And Aerial Academy, they're standing strong in the lead.
You say that there's still some smokes. And a Swalen, who could go Nuki in these dying moments. I say that, and with Vault getting open, things are going to get ugly for sure. They weren't already. Kilo obviously concerned about some misdirection play from Study, which honestly isn't really coming, at least in the time being. It's just Spiker from below with grenades, which aren't actually hitting anything. He's going to try to go up the Study stairs, most likely. I mean, there's 20 seconds left, so he's got to do something. The Vault push is going to be where the diffuser comes, and where the Aerial Academy attackers are going to come through. They come surging through this breach. at long range with the SMG-11, at least long range for the context, means that, well, Swalin's in quite a pickle. He's got to win some very unfavorable gunfights to get this 1v4, and I don't even know if he's going to get one of those 4. You will fall in Aerial Academy on starting out strong on Villa. Maybe they're just not a club team.
Maybe. But they definitely are a Villa team. It's been a strong one for them. Whoever they bring to this map, they typically beat them. You can see why. Their attacks, they're almost conventional. You would like nothing out of the ordinary, but they're doing it very well. They seem to be on the same page, and you were roasting Venna and their quote-unquote synergy on Aerial Rise Academy. Maybe it just wasn't there for Clubhouse, because today, or this map, on Villa, it looks pretty strong. It's a completely different Aerial Rise Academy that we're seeing right now.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Yeah, maybe they just didn't dry run Club. That's what I'm going with. Club was just, they were forced against their will to play it.
I mean, they were. So I don't think they banned the bank. They either banned Bank or Chalet, one of them. I have to scroll back. They banned the bank. And that makes sense as a pug stack to not have a bank in your repertoire. Not really surprising.
10 seconds to insertion.
Okay. I think you see a slight adjustment for one shot. That I want to say that study wall has been open now. There it is.
Attackers are
Might allow for Kilo to play more aggressively in support of his teammates. Though, I mean, obviously the round was lost much more early on than that when Red Stairs hold didn't really work out for one shot. So let's see what the difference will be. Obviously, Quartz is still just doing his same round pathing. Barricading them doors. And likely going to be playing those stairs. So how obviously that engagement goes will likely decide the rest of the round. A lot of eggs are in that basket for one shot.
Yeah, a lot of eggs indeed. So, one shot, you know, if that falls, probably not going to be looking too hot. Not going to be looking very good. But, you know, if Quartz just wants to peek out and die, he can. And that means no more magnets being regenerated. They're probably going to fall as well as Hippers has a Twitch drone. I think Hypers baited out. The Twitch drone noise immediately got off, and then Quartz was peeking for the drone and got killed. I'm pretty sure that's what happened.
Either way, that's less than ideal.
It is.
Once again, well, that's not only that, it's exceptionally early in the round too to be already losing control of Red Stairs and already losing Kilo as well. Meaning that, I mean, good lord, we might be looking at a 3-0 start for Aerial Academy as a 90 push is forced from Storms to do something to get going. For one shot, Slippery in a once again living up to his name in a rat corner here. Likely going to go undroned. He should get 2 here. He doesn't know that that player's in Deer Double, but that's huge. I don't know if Dami's going to be able to track him down in a respectable amount of time. I say that as Slippery just kind of runs in front of the LMG,
Bomb has been located.
but survives, at least for the time being. Spiker coming from the total opposite direction gets absolutely blasted by Storms, holding down 90. And this round has just completely gone off the rails in favor of one shot. Dami does have the LMG, and that's going to allow him to pre-fire the soul out of Storms, leaving just Slippery on 1 HP to try and save this round. For one shot, and he just rotates right in front of Dami, who has the anticipation and the game sense to amaze in the 1v2.
Yellow Paint, they had a cam. They knew he was coming. And that was a round kind of in the same vein of what we saw in round 2, that, you know, Aerial Academy, they had it all. It looked so good. Just like one shot in round 2. It looked so good for them, then all of a sudden, poof. It doesn't look good, and the opposite team wins. Yeah. But Aerial Academy were able to claw back with that clutch from Dami, who's probably kind of going crazy right now. That's the hype plays. That's the kind of momentum bringers that you need as a pug stack. And for one shot to take a timeout, they're obviously not happy with their defensive performance so far. Down 0-3.
Definitely not. I mean, and it really is weird. I guess this is competitive Siege in a nutshell. Obviously things change map to map. But wow. One shot looked so composed on Clubhouse.
They did.
They just look like, yeah, they look like they've never seen Villa before in their lives. Some of these, like that last round was ridiculous. I don't even know how you like start to unpack that. Just how that developed. Like that was so weird that someone literally came from the study stairs as an attacker, walked down the books hallway towards 90, past the site. Like what? How often do you see that?
Never.
I think it's for good reason. So I don't know. I'm sure one shot obviously took time out to try to like. I mean, like, you know, like what is going on?
What is happening?
So they don't know. I mean,
Is they went every bomb site. None of them have worked. They haven't worked. I guess they haven't tried kitchen yet.
yeah, I was about to say they didn't try what's it called either. Living.
Yeah, I'm just
I doubt-
straight up lying. I apologize.
They tried 2 of the better sites and it didn't work.
Yes, and they even got a repeat on AVG, but
10 seconds left before insertion.
not working. Nothing is. Maybe the downstairs is a little bit more welcoming for the one-shot defense. They're setting up a pretty decent roam. A lot of ability to retake the site if it is to fall into the Aerial Academy hands. Widespread horizontally that if Aerial Academy choose to clear, probably will not be fun, but as everybody's on the south side, it kind of could go either way. They could clear horizontally or they could go full vert. Seems like probably horizontal though.
Horizontal and a missed drone. After the timeout,
Unfortunate.
Swaylen taking full advantage of that, and he'll gladly take the Twitch as the opening pick for his team. Impacts flying as he makes his great escape back towards the master side of things. And I mean, yeah, this usually, you know, we're talking horizontal, this and that. A lot of ifs. I have no idea why Slippery's there. Scared. Because I was gonna say, you know, it's like, well, the C4s and sight usually was the emphasis here. And there's a whole lot of action around the staircases completely away from the site thus far. 2 players from either side of things dying off the rip here. And we see, I mean, now Area Academy went from horizontal to maybe trying to clear above and maybe working to clear out Master and Sledge out for a late round execute. Maybe, maybe not. Looks like it actually. Yeah, they're just kind of doing a whole lot of different things right now.
Yeah. Going 1-for-1's not horrible for Aerial Academy, but I bet they're wishing that they still had Hypers up, considering he's been pretty good, and now it's just a whole blender. Swaylen's going to pick up 2. Almost feels like another misdrone as they walk right into a crossfire established by the one-shot defenders. Just Spiker and Frozen left alive with a minute to play with. Swaylen's on a heater. He's finally been activated as Frozen's pushing in on this horizontal. Cam, it was on. They know that somebody's over towards clock, and with a couple of these head holes in, could a challenge come through if Swaylen swings off of Brown, but most likely going to stay passive because they don't need to aggress.
Most likely. Can't imagine the Pulse is going to pull out a scanner at this moment in time. So maybe the information isn't perfectly pristine, but guns are up from one shot. So we're under 30 seconds now, and that explosion from the pantry side of things is going to give away, or rather Laundry is going to give away push from the Iona. One shot reacting accordingly. Frozen getting chopped down, meaning it's just Spike. Spiker, who's been the legend for his team. Gonna have to, I mean, honestly, this would have to be the most impressive 1v3 I've ever seen. Literally walking into a triple crossfire here.
5 seconds.
And I wouldn't even try. Yet, we're just gonna, yeah. Not winnable. And one shot taking their first round after the timeout. That looked a lot more composed. And honestly, against what was, I mean, we have the spectator view, right? And we can see all the different movements of the attack. They're trying to clear above. They're trying to clear horizontally. They're trying to clear, what's it called, living. They're everywhere. And One Shot handled that perfectly, considering they don't have the same level of intel that we do. And obviously, played the crossfire perfectly at the end.
Mm-hmm. Well played. Well played. And to get a 3-3 half on Villa defense would be huge for One Shot, considering how slow they started, and maybe enough momentum can be brought towards on their attacking side. Because Villa is one of those weird maps that sometimes it's attacker sided, sometimes it's defender sided, sometimes it's neutral. You never really know. It's more so
Attackers need to
a
locate
play
and
style kind of thing
defuse bombs.
between teams. And we could very well see a fully attacker sided or a fully defender sided or an even eight. I don't know. Can't really say a whole lot. But considering that One Shot hasn't had any success on the top floor bomb sites, is still a little bit alarming. They need to tighten up. They need to not get real caught out on their roams that they really got systematically eliminated on the last couple of times that we went upstairs.
I wouldn't even say it's systematic. A lot of it was that they kind of did it to themselves. Like, what? Okay, Sway Leg jumped out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's why I'm perplexed at what I'm watching. Because
5 seconds to insertion.
obviously, like I said, One Shot has multiple recipes in the cookbook
Attackers are moving out to
that they
locate the bomb
use.
and defuse it.
But you know, you've got roaming Cades and pulse jump outs. Now, are we watching FPL Queens? Or are we watching One Shot? I think that's part of their charm, though. I think that's like, you're always on your toes when you're playing them. Well, I say that, and Storms was, I don't think he was peeking. I think he just got unlucky there. He's just kind of standing in the middle of the hallway. Spiker pops the window, a couple bullets, finds his head, and once again, One Shot just kind of, I wouldn't say that's an earned opening kill. It's one that kind of gave away on the side of One Shot.
Yeah, it is what it is. But pre-firing exists. That's exactly what Swalin's going to do right onto Dami. Slippery also takes out Venna, but Spiker's there for the immediate refrag, stopping the bleeding, making sure there's no hemorrhaging, making sure that man count stays even as it's 2 for 2. Dami and Venna for Storms and Slippery. Not a
bomb
horrible
has been
trade.
located.
But considering how much map control Aerial Academy already has, they're knocking on the door of the bomb site, CJ. It's barely had a minute played in this round.
Seems to be the case, huh? We either have everyone die before the site ever comes into view, or people are just waltzing in and planting. I mean, literally last time, Frozen started planting in a minute 50. Obviously, this round's going just a little bit slower, but once again, we're on the gates of the site, as you said. Kilo's getting tagged up. Spiker is aggressively rotating towards Master Balcony to try to deal with the player playing in there, and I'm sure once they do, I mean, that's a big once they do, because that's Swalen on a really nice operator for this scenario. If Spiker can win this 1v1 with Swalen, that could decide this round decisively in the favor of Air Academy, and obviously the inverse is true.
Stepping into Gemini.
Yeah, could very well happen. Swalen almost missed on the Gemini replicator, but manages to get it with a hip fire. They know he's inside a master, and this gunfight right here is going to define this round. If Spiker loses it, One Shot will win pretty easily. Having master control is absolutely massive. They want to go for this statue side plant. Don't know if they have the exact location of where he's pinned down, but Frozen just walks right in. He takes down Quartz. Kilo is rotating away, takes down the Goyo shield, but they have no idea that Frozen's getting this bomb down. They're going to have the post-plant position from the window as Kilo's trying to find wherever Frozen went. Spiker, he falls at the hands of Swalen, but it's still a 2v2. Top red control and sitting on the bomb like a mother penguin are the two final attackers, who now essentially are the defenders, as Swalen's going to take out Frozen. More shots going away as Kilo can start this diffusing process. Swalen, all he's got to do is hold on for dear life, but he's going to fall at the hands of Hyper. It's a 1v1. Kilo does not have HP to take this, but he's still going to obliterate the Twitch. What a retake from One Shot, as they do not want to go down easily.
Hyper's just got eviscerated. He just shadow peeked the soul out of that man. There's Kilo's 1 HP, and he swings on a 1 speed and does him like that. Okay, if there's a Mike and Ike sweet play of the day, that better be it.
That better be it.
Because that was ridiculous.
That
This
was
guy.
that was sweet play of the day level caliber. And wow, I feel
Look
like
at
an
this.
oracle.
Look.
Bah!
What?
Man, he got smoked.
On a 1
Hey,
speed.
all I'm gonna
he's
say
speaking
is, did say, whoever won that gunfight between Spiker and Swayland.
Nah,
Spiker
what's
dies.
and what's wild, what's so wild about that is that had nothing to do with that. Frozen of all. No, actually, let's go back a little. Okay, Kilo actually gave up his position on that shield, right?
Mm-hmm.
He went and walked away. He actually walked away to the bathroom. He took a bathroom break in the middle of the round. Walked away
He
from the
actually
shield.
did. He did
Literally.
take a bathroom break.
And then so Frozen says, okay, walks in front of that shield, which I'm telling you, you should never be able to get away with that. That shield's still
No.
up, never.
I
He
don't
walks
know
in
how he did it.
because Kilo abandoned his post, and then Quartz dies. Quartz is probably like, what the hell? And then it's like, obviously, we said, we decided that gunfight, whatever. But that was totally unrelated. Swaylen was so distracted by Spiker, he couldn't swing around to kill Frozen. So then you just got that going on. And then Kilo, who abandoned his post, hits the stinkiest clutch. Keep one shot,
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
perhaps in contention
Attackers
to
recovered the
tie
diffuser.
this half, which started horribly. 0-3.
Yep,
They were
0-3.
getting baptized. And after the timeout, shout out to Chap Penguin Lips. He said timeout.
Could be one of the clutchest timeouts that we've seen at SCS Season 6.
Because it might put them to the finals, right? Let's keep that in
Maybe.
mind.
Just maybe.
Might. I say a Slippery just gets domed. I mean, they keep giving away kills so early in the round. What did Slippery die to this time?
I don't know. It was off screen.
No context.
Oh,
But he did
just
peek the...
incredible.
They're not really making Aerial Academy earn it. That's what's... If I have a genuine criticism for it's like, you guys are just gift wrapping these kills to these guys.
I mean, like,
Swaylen's going to try to
it's
earn
a
it
lack
back.
of respect because Aerial Academy, they're not horrible players. You still gotta make them earn things.
I mean, right
You
now,
can't
like...
you're not just gonna walk over them. You might be a better team on paper. You might be a better team in accolades, resume, everything. They're gonna make you work for it. Taking out their hard breach is pretty big, but those Selmas, they've been pre-placed. So as soon as that mute jammer from below gets broken, Frozen's impact will linger and potentially change this round.
You see, speaking of synergy, it's one shot. He's using some synergy here. The smoke coming out of sight to play 90, and it's just Storm. Something. It's not too common, at least not to this extent. They are holding this with their lives. As she said, I mean, I think Selma usage from Aerial Academy is actually onto that vault wall. So I don't know if he actually pre-placed them there, but Spiker's going to find Storm from the rift stairs. And well, I mean, Swaylen's still holding down 90 though. Do they anticipate such an aggressive position from the smoke? I don't see a drone whizzing this way, though of course the guns are peeking that way. But people will survive, at least for now.
With 50 seconds left, it's an interesting position for Aerial Academy to be in. As Quartz, he's going to take out Dami, but Dami got the shield away, the smokes that were yoinked by
Okay.
the Wamai Magnet.
Speaking
Is
of
met
smokes.
with the Toxic Babe, that poisonous smoke, as a nade's going to be bounced over towards Couch. But they don't know the Quartz is close left on the door. The entire push from Aerial Academy, it's rotating towards 90. They're going to try to flood on this soft wall or this doorway, as Hypers might try to hit the back as the Toxic Babes are coming through. Swaylen's going to drop down Hypers, and more players pushing up Classical. They're all going to get cut down. Kilo slams Vena. Refragged by Spiker. It's a 1v2, but not in a great position because shotguns are amazing. Swaylen just swaps to the pump. The good and trusty old pump finishes off the round and finishes off 3 rounds in a row to secure that split half.
Incredibly clutch timeout, because one shot, I mean, like I said, they were still giving away open picks like it was Christmas. They were still closing out the rounds. And obviously, you see overall, they're playing a much more tempered style. And if they are playing aggressively, it's, well, as a team, it's not just, we don't just have pulses flying out and whatnot. It's all making sense. It's all crossfires.
Yep.
And they salvage that defensive half. And now going
What do you think they were saying in that timeout? I have a theory.
I think they were just saying, yo, stop being freaking stupid. Let's clutch it out.
I think they were saying, guys, we need to ice this out. Like, come on. We want this Pro-Am spot so we do not have to compete next weekend at the standalone tournament. It's right here. It's coming up on the 3rd through the 5th. It's free. $5,000. And a Pro-Am spot on the line. That's pretty cool. Sign up for 64 teams in, or else you're tough out of luck. You got to pay for the qualifiers, which will be happening right after. There's a whole nother split of what we're wrapping up this week. Will happen again right before SI and then the Pro-Am.
That was a really good segue there. I didn't actually expect you were going to do that. That's kind of funny.
Yeah.
That's good.
It's my forte sometimes, occasionally.
I'll give you an A+ for that. But yes, one shot.
I give one shot's defensive half a B-.
I give it a C.
C+ or flat C, C-? I was going to say C, but I didn't know if it was going to be too mean. So I kind of respect the tenacity to come back.
I mean, there's one thing we can't question is their tenacity. They're playing like maniacs. Including on attack. Storm's just sledging walls, looking for people to kill. And apparently roaming Cades are the theme for Villa today. This is like the 4th example of someone just waltzing around as Cade. This time it's Frozen.
You have set it and forget it utility, a solid gun, and a nitro.
Sure. Except you're also... Yeah, there's the
wasting
nitro.
a nitro.
There's the nitro. Where's he going to go now? Is he just going to... He's C4'd that spot. Is he just going to the basement? All right. Frozen, look. What's
this is
down
why
here
Frozen is a hard support. He's supposed to sit on site. He
What's
doesn't
down there
know
in
what
the
to do when
basement?
he's let off the leash.
What's down there in the basement that I can make fun of?
I don't know.
Is there like a torture chamber?
There
or
are some wine barrels.
Yeah, I don't know. Frozen's going for a
drink.
I don't know what he's doing down there. I mean, to be honest, he's absolutely useless as Cade, and that's why I'm just gonna be real with you.
I can't wait till he flanks and gets a 3K.
If he flanks as a 1-speed against Nomad, and it's the Swayland flank watch, by the way, I would literally not know what to tell you. Right now, it's pretty much a 5-on-3 on site because again, Frozen is across the universe, so it's a 5-on-2 on the site, and if they catch wind of that, yeah, this is gonna get ugly. And honestly, I mean, right now, Storms is just holding the one staircase that Frozen could come from and be useful.
Because the thing is, he doesn't have a nitro anymore. So him being on the 2nd floor or 1st floor is absolutely useless.
He's just gonna walk right in front of it. Oh wait, no. Storms isn't actually holding that angle aggressively enough, so it's gonna allow Frozen to just crouch walk by. If Frozen gets this kill, man, he does. In the most ridiculous roam of 2021.
One kill of the
and
flank.
The execute's coming through while this is happening. Spiker's forced to swing, but the LMG is covering. Impact flies out. Not gonna do any amount of relevant damage to the planter, meaning it's just Minotaurial. Flood coming through, the perfect coverage from one shot. And well, yeah, I mean, yeah, Connor, he got 1 kill on the flank. He got good timing on Storms, but otherwise,
yeah,
the site was outmanned.
It was not a good play. I was just trying to anger you.
Yeah, I'm pissed. Because you know what? If he was on site, right, with the C4, he might have been able to stop that plant. Actually, you saw the Womai. Who was that? Just desperately yeeting impacts.
I don't know, but I'm kind of surprised that only did like 6 damage. Both of those impacts.
Well, that's why you don't see people play that corner with impacts. Like
it was Spiker.
You know,
the whammy, the Womai.
Spiker's doing his best. But that's usually why you expect your C4s to be there.
Because you really gotta make that explode a lot better. Different bomb site this time. No repeats on the docket for Aerial Rise's defenses. They're going to go over to the sister bomb site, over to Trophy Statuary, with a little bit more of a roam. Frozen, no longer on the Cade. Still a Nitro, but a slightly better gun and slightly faster will be the Mozzie. As you know, maybe you would think that they would want the Cade on this site in particular. I would argue that the Cade is a lot more prevalent on Trophy than AVG. But hey, is what it is. Some of those Cade spots that you can put electric claws are absolutely ridiculous on this map, and on that bomb site in particular.
10 seconds remaining.
I think Frozen's just having an identity crisis right now.
Is he an anchor? Is he
an
a roamer?
anchor? Is
Is
he
he
a
something in
roamer?
between?
Locate and defuse a bomb.
He
Frozen
doesn't know.
has no idea what he wants in life. Just kind of waltzing around. There's
Probably
actually
wants
mute
like
jammers
a white picket fence and a family eventually.
and the cats and the dogs.
Mm-hmm. 2 kids and a dog. Nice backyard.
Sure, have plenty of time to think about this. You know what he wants to do.
Yeah, he can think about all this stuff when he's doing absolutely nothing in the basement. It's second round in a row.
Yeah, because I mean, if that's the level of impact we get out of a Frozen roam again, this game's gonna be over. We're gonna blink. It's gonna be over.
Bomb.
So once again, I mean, wow, Slippery is aggressively pushing the kitchen, and when I'm talking about roam, like, okay, we've got an alibi on the roam now in the basement. Everybody's taking their turn in the basement, getting a sip of Ciroc from the wine barrels. Look,
Spiker's fueling up. Not talking about G.
genuine question. What is that? Spiker's down there, hoping, praying for a flank. Which, to be fair, might just get if Swalen doesn't actually like air jab the basement stairs. It's entirely possible. So you see, he's already kind of moving in the air jab. First teammates in there, and of course is going for the most aggressive play I never would have expected. I don't know if he's actually going to be able to catch. What is this? What is this cat and mouse game? Between Quartz impacted the. He impacted and Spiker didn't
That's a
hear it.
headshot?
And well, thank goodness for Dami. The guardian angel.
Shot him like in the
trade.
stomach.
I don't question it at this point.
I'm just not going to question it because, I mean, he would have gotten the kill regardless, but 1 for 1, not horrible. Seems to be like the moral of the story so far because Dami playing that hatch, strong position. They have general ideas of intel. They're stacked up a whole lot of people inside of Astro, and they're going to get a free kill on the wall trying to destroy the mute jammer. Really unfortunate for Vena. He went down with his mute jammers. It was so important to him that if one died, he had to go with it. Another nade is going to come out, narrowly misses damage on Dami, but gets his shield away, which means he's going to be kind of naked, trying to swing this angle. The Storms is going to pop up eventually. Dami tries to go for the aggression, but Slippery reads that a mile away. Will pick up that free frag. The Finka's adrenal surge is coming out, and in comes the execute.
The only good news for Aerial Academy right now is that the Finka boost does increase the damage of smokes, but nonetheless, that push from the Astro Stairs gonna come through from one shot. And more importantly, the breach getting opened, the flood coming through from one shot as well. It's pretty much gonna be a game of trades, and Frozen has possibly the worst gun for this. The Roni is not the ideal weapon in a 1v3. And one shot has won 5 rounds in a row after a timeout.
Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, but 5 in a row, CJ. At this point, I think we need to pull Casanova, Chat Penguin Lips, Jared, whatever, into the interview because he might get the MVP for talking his team, his boys down. Because this time it's Aerial Rise Academy to take the timeout because they desperately need it.
They need to go on a 5-round streak of their own. Clearly, that's what's going to
They wouldn't
occur.
even need to.
Oh yeah, you're right. It'd be like 4.
Yeah, they only need 4. No win in regulation. We'll be going to map 3. We'll be in for a late night.
Not really. It's 6:41.
But
What?
it's 8:41 for me. I keep on looking in the bottom right of my monitor and seeing my Eastern time, even though I'm on Central visiting family. It's messing me up, but yeah, for Aerial Academy, one shot just, I would say it's in a very similar vein to what we saw on Clubhouse with their attacks. All their I's are dotted, their T's are crossed, and they almost have every situation planned for. There's been nothing crazily inventive on the side of Aerial Academy that's really throwing one shot for a loop. We're seeing some pretty default defenses, which, when done correctly, are hard to break. But for one shot, they've seen it all already, and they know how to deal with it. That's the experience. That's the T2 experience. That's the flexibility and the adaptability of this roster coming to full force.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs.
Absolutely. And as we go to kitchen and Tetris, because
Attackers have discovered the
yeah,
location of the bomb.
I mean, is that fair to call it that?
I don't even know.
Kitchen dining, kitchen Tetris, whatever. Their first go at it, Aerial Academy. This might be the best site for them because I feel like the other sites are it's almost like there's too much free, like, it's like the yard is too big.
Mm-hmm.
10 seconds.
They're just running around. I mean, quite frankly, they are just doing some of the most low impact roams I've ever seen. We've got alibis in the basement. Cade's in the basement with no C4s. Maybe this site will force them to play.
Using a C4 to get into the basement.
Maybe this site will be the one where they actually play it. And with Dami on the pulse giving CCS champion callouts, they'll be able to pulse upward and perhaps use their C4s for something good. Because there's quite a lot of them. There's 3. And some impacts even.
If Spiker loses that gunfight, I don't know what I'll do. Yep.
Wasn't even a gunfight because Slippery didn't know it was there. Apparently.
Yep. That is unlucky. Poor Slippery. No adrenal surges coming out of Finca. And no hammering coming out of Sledge as Frozen finally impactful on that roam. Making 2 opening kills for Aerial Academy. They're getting active. They're looking more athletic on this roam, and it's gonna lead to a more successful defense so far. The anchor play, it's supplemented with intel as a one-shot. They know that they're at the disadvantage. They're going to try to go fast. They're breaching the wall. They have intel towards sight. And they're swinging, and Kilo's going to hit 2 nasty shots. What?
As they're simultaneously pushing through Pantry, this round just flipped on its head in favor of one shot. Now the diffuser's going to go down. Swalin's the greatest at that. And Court's holding the one rotation back to sight that's meaningful. Meaning, there's 2 defenders stacked up on where Quartz is actively staring with the light machine gun. He's going to narrowly miss out on that kill in Frozen. 1 HP on the Mozzie. And with the E1Ds coming out as well, that's going to kill a significant amount of time in this post plant. Quartz obviously now concerned about the flank that could come from Spiker. Pantry, the anticipation from the former NAL player as he's patiently waiting for Spiker to complete this flank. Critical gunfight. Spiker somehow wins that, even though Quartz had the drop on him. Frozen's on 1 HP. So this has to be, oh my God! Spiker is just, Spiker has the host advantage. I don't know, but he's just absolutely slamming. The entrenched one-shot attackers just get absolutely annihilated. Even though they both knew exactly what was coming, they still couldn't win the fights.
Wow. That was a crazy round. Those are some of the nastiest shots back and forth I've seen in a while. That was right here. Kilo, I don't even know if that was planned or not, but he got 2. And then let's see how many frames. Yeah. Maybe 1 frame, Swalen. That's not on Swalen, bro. He wins that on LAN. Probably not, but like still. Spiker hit a nice shot. That was kind of crazy. Hopefully we see that Twitter clip from his perspective. So I want to see how the perspective really hurts. But wow, that was a round that One Shot had absolutely no business being into. They had a really great adjustment and call to hit that flood because they knew they were not going to clear that roam properly. They get the bomb down, but Spiker still doesn't care.
I mean, I guess it's only natural because Kilo got the, I don't know, it's almost like packet loss or something. I mean, Kilo got the packet loss clutch earlier on the Cade. So Spiker responds with some packet loss peaks of his own. And as a result, Aerial Academy hangs around just a little bit longer. Again,
10 seconds remaining.
that has been their, I don't know what modus operandi of the entire SCS Season 6 split, honestly. Just hanging around. And like you said earlier, One Shot was kind of almost like overconfident in the way that they challenged them in the first couple rounds. And well, those 3 rounds to start the game, which were kind of just loosey-goosey, whatever, starting to raise the anxiety factor a little bit here for One Shot. This game's a lot closer.
Okay, so what you're telling me, CJ, is One Shot went from losing because they were going loosey-goosey to losing a round because Spiker was on the loosey.
Yes.
Okay, makes sense.
Speaking of loose, are they all the way pushed up to landing already? We're 50 seconds in, I think, and there's someone from one shot. That's the Finka already pushed up, wasting no time. Establishing all this control. The red stairs, which were previously just for one shot on their defenses, was just an absolute, Fort Knox defense on the red stairs. Aerial Academy just seeds it. Look at this. One shot is just buzzing around 90 with the full minute and 50 to go. Clearly having a plan in mind for what they want to do here. As well, the only thing that's left to, cross off all the checklists on this attack is to take study, which obviously Kilo is working to do. And they can kind of do what they want to do.
It definitely could. Swalen, he's cutting off the 90 flank, which is good. And he could potentially start knocking on the door of a plant trying to burn Hyper's smoke canisters and maybe the nitros of Vina and Frozen, which could be down below because there's not a whole lot of coverage, especially when Storms goes down. That means Frozen has free reign of the down below. An awkward plant spot is going to be a requirement for one shot to get this bomb down, especially as soon as there's any intel, any call that, hey, he's planting vault door, or hey, he's planting maps table. Immediately a nitro cell can go up onto the floor and send that planter of Swalen sky high.
Interesting grenade tosses flying out. And that's going to allow for Swalen to have a slight opportunity to push vault with the diffuser. And as a result, one shot, their bid to just essentially forgo planting and to just go for the kills completely backfires. And barring a incredible 1v4. Right, Jesus. Barring a 1v4 from Kilo, we're going to 5-5. Yeah, you just like... Is he? Is barring LFT?
Yes, he is.
God, I hate it. I hate it here so much. But yes, one shot. This game.
It's all tied up.
It's a game of streaks. 3-0 lead for Aerial Academy. 5 rounds in a row from one shot. We're back to 2 in a row for Aerial Academy to even up once again. If it was anyone else that pushed vault like that with the diffuser, I'd be very upset. But Swalen, if anyone can do it, it's Swalen.
Nope, I'm still upset. Those are not the plays that lead the league. Can't be making the... honestly, the proper read of Storms falling as the coverage down below, and then being like, hey, they have downstairs. They knew that they could not go for the plant safely. And that was the call, to try to flood, to try to get kills, maybe take bar control off of the flood, at least get vault, and make it very awkward for Aerial Academy to play the bomb site. It was an admirable effort, but it didn't work out. Ariel, they were just stalwart in their defense. Spiker went huge with that frag, probably the most important frag of the entire round. Unless you could argue maybe Frozen's kill onto Storms was the kind of finger that pushed the dominoes.
5 seconds remaining.
We didn't really talk about it, but they had a lot of reinforcements down there.
They did.
Around Piano as well. And Frozen was just playing there like it was his little lair. And obviously Storms just kind of, I imagine, just kind of tried to deal with it on his own. And well, that was Frozen's domain. And it kind of forced that flood into vault. Indirectly. So it's an interesting little wrinkle that caused a lot of problems for one shot. And well, I've seen this before. A bunch of guys on that balcony. But they aren't rushing in, they're just doing a basic clear. I say that. Someone just push in there? They didn't even look towards books. And there's definitely someone books. One shot. Someone 90 as well. And they're just pushing. Who is this maniac? This is the Finka Slippery, of course. Slippery is just known for this. He gets absolutely baptized by Dami. Slippery is just pushing aggressively. But unfortunately
Dami
for
has
him,
no fear.
Yeah, Dami is more aggressive. Dami is just waltzed up on the softball. The Nomad, wow, Swalen. With the FOV flick.
Dami almost hit that flick. If that had been one more second, Dami wins that gunfight, but it's going up against Swalen. Mr. 10 kills is Kilo. He's finally quelled his woes towards Villa. Doing pretty well for himself. It's more so Quartz and Storms after a solid performance last map that are a little bit slow and can't keep up with the main man that is Spiker on the side of Aerial Academy. But as the trades go through, I mean, you lost an entry for a roamer. Not horrible, not unexpected. All your util is still intact. You've got to worry about only one nitro cell in the back pocket of Hypers. I'm speechless at that. Quartz is just slammed his desk. That's a absolute mauled moment as he got destroyed by Frozen.
With that might have been their chances of the round being one destroyed. C4 from Hypers should be the cherry on top, but it narrowly misses. That allows for Kilo to push in from bathroom unexpectedly. Find Frozen. Now the deer double push coming through. That grenade somehow banks off of the wall perfectly. Post-mortem. Storms gets the kill, but we're in a 1 versus 2 now. Kilo has been felted in bathroom, meaning just Whalen on the hollow ARX. Slam Spiker. High intensity 1 versus 1, and I don't think Swalen has any idea where the Kate is. Hyper's just kind of shooting. Maybe the moment was too big for Hypers because they just glossed his team. Oh my god, Hypers just shot at nothing. It's like it allowed Swalen to get off the plant and win the round. I cannot believe that.
Moroccan versus Moroccan. Cade versus Nomad. We know that Swalen comes out on top and puts one shot on map point, match point, series point, whatever you want to say. Awesome flash mechanic, then abuse it yourself. Why didn't we see the Ying being brought Frozen? All these people complain about the supernova flashbangs, then use them yourself.
I don't think he can hear you, man.
I know.
You're so passionate. What? Well, I mean, we're talking about the flash. Yeah, that was a great flash. Yeah,
it was.
You know,
it was
why
right
was he
next
able?
to him. Of
I don't
course
know.
it should flash him.
And why was he able to throw that flash? Let's see this in the replay. I hope we see in the replay. Swalen is literally planning.
Nope.
Oh, it's not. Okay,
He was
Swalen's
planting.
like,
When he tucked down to plant, he's in that safe spot where you just can't see him at all.
I think also we're talking like the Moroccan operators, like their skins,
Uh-huh.
their default skins, which Villa has always been a map where people in skins, like that's where the biggest like egregious examples of, you know, people blending into walls comes through. Nomad has this tan skin. The wall behind him is also tan, so it's entirely possible. I mean, Hypers just looked Swalen in the eyeball, but didn't actually see him. And then he's just shooting like, oh my god, what? And then that gives Swalen the opportunity to win the clutch. And honestly, that's just heartbreak. I mean,
It's just heartbreaking.
Hyper shot at his inner demons and didn't actually see the planning for like Swalen
You
had
forgot
no
his
idea it
meds
was there.
this morning.
Oh, so we're gonna actually get a replay. Look at this.
Oh, you can see.
Yeah, I mean, like
barely.
you know, I
Yo,
can't
you saw
blame.
You saw Fox's tweet of, "Hey guys, find the Nomad. Let's do
Literally,
that again."
this is part 2.
Just keep that energy.
I mean, he just. That's so unfortunate. And you know, someone probably on his team saw it and was like, yo, you see him? And he's just shooting.
You see him, shoot. And then he's
You
like,
see
oh,
him, you
what?
see him.
And loses the round.
Yeah.
Potentially
What are we
the
watching?
series.
I mean,
Absolute
not to
heartbreaker.
interrupt you. Not to interrupt. What are we watching here? A basement breach and clear from one shot. Up red. Into the rectangle. Into Memorial. This is a push that could put one shot in the grand final. Storms is pushing through pantry as well, but Dami is there. He finds 2, and Frozen will find, well, Storms who try to push through pantry, and that rush may have just gotten shut down, at least for the time being. After all that drama, we're at a 2 versus 2. The case is just down in the
You know
middle
what's
of
interesting, CJ?
no man's land.
It's the exact same 2v2 that we saw on this bomb site last time. Kilo and Swalen against Frozen and Spiker. Same ops, same everything. This time, it's not Swalen inside of pantry. It's Frozen with the Roni. Held by his cross is Spiker. The potential for Ivy to be an interesting position is there. But it doesn't seem like One Shot have realized that yet. They've got to reclaim the diffuser and potentially go for this Tetris plant. Hope that Frozen's Nitro Cell doesn't land, or have Kilo do his best. Aim lab, hit the aim lab, hit the combine, hit the C4 arcs, and try to shoot it away.
Well, they're actually going for a synergy play here to flash China, and that's huge. I don't know who made that call, but that was genius. To flash and have Kilo wrap around in China, that was brilliant. And that is the type of play that is going to perhaps make One Shot SCS Season 6 Stage 1 champs, but they're going to have to go through Surf in the grand final tomorrow. That was ridiculous. That is easily one of my favorite plays, actually.
That was really
well you
played.
could see.
I was saying Ivy was an interesting position because I'm like, that is like a Spiker can just get shot in the back. And that's
That was
exactly
really
what
good.
happened.
That was
Great
really-
flash.
That was cold. That was cold. He said, yo, Flash China. Yo.
That's 2 really high level adaptations from one shot on that take. That like it doesn't go down, and then all of a sudden Kilo's like, hey, yo, trust the process.
Yo, big trust.
And you should argue that the first play definitely should have worked if Spiker didn't hit 2 of the nastiest shots he's ever hit in his career.
Yeah, those. I said that Kilo's clutch should have been the sweet play. It doesn't look like that will be the case. Because I mean, Spiker's was almost better.
That was
That was biblical. Look at this.
That was a good game. That map in particular was phenomenally played by ARIAL Rise Academy, but just even better by one shot. They're looking like a complete roster. Not very many holes, even when they're messing up, playing a bit over aggressive and just making easily counterable mistakes. They can still just take a timeout, take a deep breath, and be like, hey guys, this is not us. They'll turn it back around, going from down 0-3 to winning 7-5. Absolutely massive.
Just really solid clutch play. Really solid synergy in critical moments. And I gotta tip my fedora to ARIAL Academy. Look at that grenade. That was so goofy.
It was.
That was like a quarterback getting hit while throwing the ball under pressure in the pocket, and Storm still gets the kill. It's ridiculous. But ARIAL Academy, they fought, they grinded. They were done. The towel, I don't have a towel near me that I can throw.
I don't either.
Oh wait, I do. I have a napkin. They threw in the towel. They were like, we're not going anywhere, Siege. I'm done. Quit. And they get so far here. They just happen to come across a team in one shot that is just operating at a different
Made SI
azimuth.
closed quals can potentially be going to the biggest event in Siege.
Maybe. Yeah, quite a bracket they have to deal with there. And well, yeah, they got quite the team to deal with in Surf Esports tomorrow in that grand final.
Yeah, if you can't beat Action and Asian, I don't know if you can beat Bolo.
And I'm not gonna make a big debate here. But maybe Ashen and Asian are the next Bolo.
Maybe,
And-
but
Maybe.
all we know is that one shot will be back.
Will they?
Yes,
I thought you were gonna say something more to that. That was
they will be
anticlimactic.
back. They'll be playing tomorrow. They're the Lions cut of $5,000 for the split, as well as a Pro-Am spot. Pro-Am spot's pretty cool. Do you know what's even cooler than a Pro-Am spot, CJ?
I don't know. What?
The insane ergonomics of a Mavix chair. Sure, the holiday sale has passed, but you can still get a Mavix chair with all the critical ergonomics that the Mavix M9 line. It's got so many features. It's ridiculous. You can add air conditioning to a chair. That's ridiculous. $24.69 a month with financing, or you can just use NSG 55 and get not 55%, not 55 cents, $55 off your purchase. That's a huge number. Just like the numbers that we have coming up with our stats.
Oh my god, that's significant. Spiker played incredibly. I think any sort of doubts anyone may have around Spiker, forget it. Spiker is now the cover athlete for ARIAL Rise Academy, I think. And of course, Swaylin. I mean, we made fun of Swaylin map 1. He was just getting slammed, but his team still won. On map 2, he was huge clutch at the end, huge numbers. Kilo as well. That was my critical point. Kilo is like the victory condition for these guys. If he plays well, it's hard to envision them losing. Well, I would say 14-8 is playing well. In that last round, that 2v2. I mean, it was the 2 top players. It was Swaylin and Kilo, those 2 top rated players, the top demons. They had the top level synergy to win their team the map, win their team the series. And I'm not going to be interviewing either of those two. We're going to be talking to Quartz, actually, from One Shot. Quartz.
Yes, I
have a lot of questions to ask you, my man. A lot of questions.
Go ahead.
Okay, honestly, map 1, I'm sure you would agree, you guys just beat the brakes off those guys. What made it so easy? What made it seem like you guys were in so much control on Clubhouse?
I don't know. We just played our game. It's not that hard. We know those guys like don't play super coordinated. They just play based off their gun skills most of the time. So it's more. It's more just playing our game, honestly.
And so, going along to map number 2, you guys kind of started out slow. It was like you said, you're playing your game. You guys went down 3, and I was like, oh my god, what is good with One Shot?
Yeah.
What happened after that timeout to just cover this map for you?
We just took timeout to honestly just cool down. Sometimes we're a momentum-based team. I feel like we're momentum-driven, and then sometimes we just lose around, and we just gotta figure out what the enemy team is doing. Same thing happened with Mystic, but on this game specifically, I'll say it never felt like we were gonna lose. The whole time we kind of it kind of feels weird to say, but we knew we were gonna win, even if we were down 0-3. We weren't really stressed. We knew what to fix, I guess, on the future rounds, and we kind of just did that. So.
Yeah, and then on the final 2 rounds, Swaylin and Kilo, both of them. I guess both of them together and Swaylin in the 1v1. What the hell? Swaylin in that 1v1.
Oh, that was beautiful.
What was the energy like when Swaylin won that? Because you said you guys are momentum based. I know y'all were hooping and hollering.
Yes. Swaylin is just an animal. That was a crazy good play by him, and then he just it was just beautiful. We were all yelling and stuff.
And then that 2v2 where you had Kilo and Swaylin. Did they just imagine that in their heads and then they both knew what to do, or was someone making some crazy call to flash?
No,
because that was
I think Sway and Kilo both talked to each other about what they wanted to achieve there, and then they both kind of did it, and it was really beautiful. They flashed a guy, then wow, it was beautiful.
That was one of my favorite plays of the stage. Actually, I actually loved that. Yes. But yes, my final question going into the finals tomorrow, Quartz against Surf.
Mm-hmm.
How are you guys feeling? You think you can take them?
Yeah, we're feeling great as a team. We've been playing pretty well, so we just gotta. We gotta stick to our own game. We beat Mystic, which was one of the best C3 teams. We're playing against Surf again. They're really aggressive, but they play pretty well together. They're not a bad team, not to underestimate. So, looking forward to play against those guys.
So a lot of focus on yourself. You're not worried about these other guys. You guys know you have the formula.
Oh yeah.
See if it works.
We know how to play Siege. Just gotta focus on it.
Hey, I appreciate a man of simpleton and simpleness, and I appreciate how your team plays. Awesome stuff. Congratulations on the grand final, and perhaps we'll talk to you again tomorrow. Maybe.
Thank you. Hopefully.
We'll see. And we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Appreciate your Quartz. Have a good rest of the evening.
You too.
And yes, unbelievable performance.
Thank you, sir.
See daps. Look who, it's funny. Wow. Did Swaylin get
Swaylin had 2 kills on club.
And he still finished in the middle.
Yep.
That's kind of funny. But wow.
Or Slippery. Slippery, I would say the 0-5 on entry definitely hurt. That allowed Aerial Rise to get a lot of momentum, but at the end of the day, with the rest of the team just playing well, not a whole lot. You can't really say oh my gosh, Slippery needs to be dropped. Nope. They're a team. They played really well. They're setting themselves up for tomorrow, where it's a raw BO5. No map advantage, no shenanigans, no nothing. Equal footing, CJ. The best of T3 versus the best of T2.
Yep, and Horse just talked about how they're momentum based.
Mm-hmm.
Really interested to see how a momentum-based team plays in a best-of-5 against a team like Surf that, they can hit shots that disrupt your momentum quite a bit.
You can't even say they don't have stamina because those guys are playing ranked till 4 a.m. every day.
Right. So that is going to be interesting. That's for sure. But yeah, that's for tomorrow. I'm sure we can delve into more of that then. I'm sure after this we have a very... What's it called?
At the Myconite. Sweet play of the day.
The spicy sweet play. From, actually couldn't tell you. I'm actually not sure where the sweet play.
I don't know because there was quite a few insane plays on Villa.
I don't know which one they ended up picking. But let's see. Actually,
I'm actually at the edge of my. This is the most excited I've been for a sweet play of the day, and it's not even from our game. It's the game that we weren't watching because it's Mr. Ashen on the Twitch, popping off on Clubhouse on Coastline.
and Ashen is one of the best Coastline players known to man. Absolutely ridiculous. And we see. Actually,
I didn't see this play. I was not watching it.
I don't remember what happened.
I was eating my dinner.
I mean, Ashen is staring menacingly. Cool vibes. He does have a drone at his feet. And Gasher is indeed in lobby. Wait, no, he's actually... There's someone else from Surf in lobby, it is. Both the defenders are in blue bar. So Gasher is in quite the pickle. Oh, yeah.
They trade.
Ashen just killed everybody. Yeah, this is nothing new. He always does that. Maybe, you know, I expected more because, you know, it's the sweet play of the day, but then again, it's just Ashen. Ashen makes everything look easy.
Hey, but CJ, you could say that you're like disappointed because you're thinking, hey, I mean, I could hit those shots, right? It's easy. If it's really that easy, they need to sign up for the standalone tournament and compete against these same players that are probably going to be there January 3rd through 5th. It's free. Literally free money. Come take the money out of our pockets. There's $5K up for grabs, but even more than that, there's a pro-am spot where you would get to compete against your favorite players. You go compete against Super. You can call him bad if you can somehow manage to beat him in his crazy NAL winning stack. You can go yell in Panba's face or Canadian. I don't know. Would be fun. You would prove yourself, but you got to sign up. First 64 teams coming through. And if you can't make it that way, just in a week after, and the week after that, you got the paid for qualifiers to come in, fight for a whole month, just like these teams have. Exclamation point play in chat. We'll give you the link to that. Sign up. Get you all squared away.
It's all squared away indeed. And with that, we are squared away for the day.
We are done. We're done for the split, CJ.
Yeah, but I mean, the standalone tournament, it's literally like, what,
next
2
week.
days from now? Yeah, so
You don't get that much of a break from us.
Yeah, it really just doesn't have the same oomph. But yes, one shot Surf, best of 5 tomorrow. It's gonna be amazing. It is literally the T2 versus T3 Super Bowl. And let's see who's gonna get that vaunted pro-am spot. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, same time, be there. Or just miss the greatest game ever.